What if the most dangerous demon in the world was not the one who slaughtered the innocent, but the one who chose not to? What if rebellion came not through bloodshed, but through mercy, intellect, and sacrifice? In the world of Demon Slayer, there is one demon who stands apart for exactly that reason. Tamayo. Once bound by Muzan Kibutsuji's curse, she later became one of his greatest threats. A healer, a scientist, a rebel who walked the thin line between humanity and monstrosity. These are the 10 most powerful truths about Tamayo, the woman who turned her curse into resistance. Number 1. Tamayo was once a servant of Muzan. Long before Tamayo became an ally to the Demon Slayer Corps, she was a victim of the very evil they sought to destroy. As a young woman, she was terminally ill. Muzan approached her with a promise: life without death. Desperate to survive, she accepted. But what followed was not healing, it was horror. Once turned, she became consumed by the uncontrollable hunger of a newborn demon. She killed, she fed. She was no longer herself. Over time, her conscience re-emerged. Racked with guilt, Tamayo sought freedom from Muzan's influence, a feat no other demon had achieved. But she did. She escaped not just his reach, but his control. That act alone made her a threat to everything he had built. And for her, it marked the beginning of her redemption. Number 2. She's one of the only demons who regained her humanity. Unlike most demons, Tamayo chose not to embrace her new nature. She despised it. While others saw humans as prey, she saw them as people lives she had no right to take. Instead of feeding on blood through violence, she found willing donors and survived on the smallest amounts possible. This was not just about survival, it was about morality. About drawing the line in the sand and standing firm, even as a creature designed to cross it. She was still a demon in body, yes, but in her actions, Tamayo was far more human than most who still call themselves so. Number 3. Tamayo created the anti-Kibutsuji drug. Her most important legacy lies in her science. Tamayo was not just trying to cure herself, she was working to destroy Muzan from within. The result of her research was the anti-Kibutsuji drug, a complex 4-stage formula designed specifically to target the Demon King. First, it accelerated Muzan's aging by centuries within moments. Second, it disrupted his regeneration. Third, it prevented him from splitting and escaping, a favorite trick he had used countless times before. Finally, it rendered his body vulnerable, leaving him open to attacks he could no longer heal from. Tamayo didn't strike Muzan down with a blade. She did it with brilliance, calculation, and years of relentless effort. In the final battle, her drug was the silent hero. Number 4. Her blood demon art is non-destructive but incredibly powerful. Most demons use their blood demon arts for combat, to tear, maim, and kill. But Tamayo's abilities reflect who she truly is, someone who influences, not destroys. Her blood demon art, blood bewitchment, allows her to manipulate her enemy's senses through spells activated by her blood. Some effects cause hallucinations, visions of flowers that blind and confuse. Others extract the truth from the victim, bypassing mental resistance to force confession. It's not physical force, it's psychological warfare. Tamayo's powers aren't loud or dramatic. They're subtle, invasive, and precise. Fitting for a woman who wins her battles with knowledge, not violence. Number 5. Tamayo was inspired by Yoichi Tsujikuni. For centuries, Tamayo believed Muzan was invincible. She had seen his power firsthand and knew better than to dream of victory. But everything changed the day she witnessed Yoichi Tsujikuni, the original Sun Breather, face Muzan in battle. Yoichi nearly killed him. For Tamayo, it was not just awe, it was awakening. The myth of Muzan's immortality shattered before her eyes. If Yoichi could wound him, then Muzan could be defeated. That moment gave her the resolve to try. Tamayo had no sword, no breathing technique, but she had purpose, and she dedicated the rest of her long life to finishing what Yoichi had started. Number 6. She turned Yushiro into a demon, not Muzan. Only one demon has ever been created without Muzan's blood, and that demon is Yushiro. Tamayo found him dying, just as she once had been, and in a rare act of compassion, offered him a second chance. Using her own modified blood, she turned Yushiro into a demon. It was an act of medical brilliance and emotional risk. Yushiro not only survived, but thrived. He became Tamayo's assistant, her bodyguard, and her most loyal companion. While other demons were born from fear, lust, or hate, Yushiro was born for mercy. Even after Tamayo's death, Yushiro carried on her work. Not out of obligation, but out of love. Number 7. She helped Shinobu Koto infuse her body with poison. Tamayo's influence wasn't limited to medicine or research. Her collaboration with the Demon Slayer Court extended into their most dangerous missions, including the one that claimed the life of Shinobu Koto. Together, Tamayo and Shinobu developed a plan to weaponize Shinobu's own body. Using small sustained doses, Tamayo helped Shinobu saturate herself with wisteria poison, an element deadly to demons. By the time she faced Doma, she was no longer just a Hashira, she was a living weapon. When Doma devoured her, he sealed his own fate. The poison hidden in her blood attacked him from within, weakening him enough for Kanao and Inosuke to deliver the finishing blows. Tamayo was there, quietly, behind the scenes, saving lives by risking her own work. Number 8. She removed Muzan's curse from herself. One of Muzan's greatest tools of control was his curse. Any demon who dared speak his name aloud would instantly perish in agony. It kept them silent, obedient, and terrified. But Tamayo broke that curse. Through years of experimentation, she severed the metaphysical bond Muzan used to control his creations. She could say his name without flinching. She could talk about him openly. She was, in every sense, free. That freedom made her dangerous, because it meant she no longer feared him. And that meant she could turn others against him too. Number 9. Her death was painful, but heroic. Tamayo didn't die with peace. She died screaming, torn apart by the monster she had spent centuries trying to destroy. Muzan devoured her, consuming her body and breaking her down cell by cell. But she had already won, because inside his body, her work lived on. The anti-Kibutsuji drug flooded his veins. Her cells attacked him from within. Her death wasn't the end of her fight. It was its climax. Even in death, she didn't stop resisting. She made herself into the very poison that would bring Muzan down. Number 10. Tamayo never wanted to be a demon. Perhaps the most tragic truth of all is this. Tamayo never wanted power. She never wanted immortality. All she wanted was to live a little longer to be with her family. Muzan offered that dream and stole everything instead. Her husband, her children, her peace. Gone. The rest of her life was spent in mourning. Mourning the woman she once was, the life she never got to live. And yet she never let that pain define her. She chose to fight. Not for vengeance. Not for glory. But for peace to the world and for herself. In the end, Tamayo wasn't a demon. She was a human soul trapped in a cursed body, who chose to rise above it all. Thanks for watching the Hashira Chronicles. If Tamayo's video moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Drop a comment below. What should we explore next? Until next time, stay sharp. And never forget, even in shadows,